Director of Administration, do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
No, we do not.
Okay, can I get approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second. Motion made by Director Wood, second by Vice President Washington. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes 3-0. Public comments. At this time, if there's a member of the public that would like to make a comment on a non-agenda item, now is the time to do so. The floor is open to public comments. Hearing none, I'm going to close public comments and move on to voluntary public roll call via teleconference. If anybody that's on the phone or teleconference via Zoom would like to let us know that they're in attendance, now is the time.
I'm listening. This is Byron.
Welcome, public. Byron. Okay. Now, time for the consent calendar. CC1 and CC2. We can do these together. CC1, review of the check voucher, August 5th through August 18th. And then CC2 is the cash balances as of July 2025. Do I have a motion to approve CC1 and CC2?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice President Washington. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Director Wood. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Minutes. Finance Committee, M1 is Finance Committee from August 11th. And regular board meeting, M2 from August 13th. Do I have a motion to approve M1 and M2?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice President Washington. Do I have a second?
Second, there's a question. Just a point of order, we could get cleared up through our legal counsel. Being as there are only 3 board members in attendance, do we need to make these roll call votes, or is it just all in favor, yes or no?
Oh boy, that's an interesting question. I think for an abundance of caution, doing a roll call vote is the safest way to go, even though, if there's only 3 there and they all approve it, it's unanimous. But I would just advise just going through the roll call vote, just to be sure, and especially given that I think it's going to be a pretty quick meeting tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So roll call vote.
Okay.
So moving forward, we'll do a roll call vote. Correct? Sorry.
So let me do the roll call vote. So Director Greg Wood,
Yes.
Vice President Gregory Washington,
Yes.
President Ben Stewart.
Yes. New business, NB1, approval of the agreement with Jones Hall for bond counsel services for financing of the sludge removal project. Presenter Kim Domingo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Yes.
Yeah, I dropped out for a second there. I don't know why. But anyway, this item is related to, like the item says, it's related to the financing of the sludge removal project. This is bond counsel services. It's needed for the project. The amount is, I think it's $55,000. Sherry, can you confirm that amount for me?
Yeah. 55.
Okay. Staff recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, just a second here. No, I don't have a question.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve NB1 as stated?
So moved.
Motion made by Director Wood. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Washington. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Director Greg Wood,
Yes.
Vice President Gregory Washington,
Yes.
President Ben Stewart.
Yes, motion passes 3-0. NB2, Resolution 2025-14, amending the administrative handbook, adopting revised Assistant General Manager job description, policy 2000. Presenter, Kim Domingo.
Yes, Mr.
Oh, we lost him again. Kim, if you can hear us, we can't hear you.
This is an edit or rewrite of the Assistant General Manager job description as it stands in Policy 2000 of the Administrative Handbook. It needs to be edited. It's gone through the Personnel Committee, and the recommendation is for approval.
Discussion?
Yes, as Kim pointed out, we reviewed it and thought, Kim, you did a great job of making the edits to the job description, and we recommend approval.
Awesome. Anything from you? Thank you, sir. All right, can I get a motion to approve NB2?
So moved.
Motion made by Director Wood. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Washington. Can I get a roll call vote?
Director Greg Wood,
Yes.
Vice President Gregory Washington.
Yes.
President Ben Stewart.
Yes. Motion passes. NB2. NB3, approval of second lease amending agreement with Ironwood Jiu-Jitsu from the old district office building at 2700 20th Street West.
Okay, give me a second, baby.
And it does not say who the presenter is. I'm assuming Kim Domingo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This is very similar to a lease amendment that we did earlier, adjusting the rents that were due based on improvements that Ironwood Jiu-Jitsu has done to the building. I don't know if anybody's driven by, but they had it repainted. It looks really, really good. They've done some great improvements. So this lease amendment adjusts those rents accordingly, and the recommendation is for approval.
Thank you very much. Discussion? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve NB3?
So move.
I'll go with Washington on that one. Motion was made by Vice President Washington. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, Director Wood. Caught myself. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Director Greg Wood,
Yes.
Vice President Gregory Washington,
Yes.
President Ben Stewart.
Yes. Motion passes 3-0. Time to the director's reports, comments, and future agenda items. I will start to my left here. Director Wood.
Nope, I don't have any reports right now. I just wish everybody to have a nice and safe Labor Day weekend. And wish that all of our staff members and board members that are attending the conference in Monterey have safe travels back home. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Vice President Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a small tidbit here that I hope the public finds informative. As you know, we as a country celebrate countless national days. These days are celebrated from a moment in time or a particular item. I'm sure you've all heard of National Hamburger Day, huh? In fact, today is National Peach Day, where we celebrate this delicious fruit. Well, I found out last August 16th was National Backflow Prevention Day, highlighting the importance of keeping our drinking water safe and the people and technology that help make that happen. As part of keeping drinking water safe is protecting against cross-contaminations and connections, which could contaminate your drinking water. A cross-connection is when a drinking water pipe is connected to a pipe carrying undrinkable water, like landscape irrigation systems or a swimming pool. When this happens, there's a risk that untreated or contaminant water could flow backward into the public water system. That's where backflow prevention devices come in. These devices are designed to stop water from re-entering the neighborhood water mains in the event of a pressure change, protecting your neighborhood and the entire water system. So that's just one of many water quality safeguards in place. That's all I have tonight. I don't want to take up too much time, but at our next meeting, I'd like to talk a little bit about what we're doing in our water committee and conservation outreach efforts as it relates to our upcoming September Fest. That's unless our Director of Administration doesn't beat me to it. And I just want to say, very proud of the work you're doing in that area.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. I do not have anything tonight, so I'm not gonna make something up. All right. General Counsel update, John Comar.
I'm not getting in the way of this train. I got nothing for you tonight.
I want to say thanks. I'm blanking on his name right now. Alex, I want to say his name was Alex.
Yeah, Alex Dominguez.
Nice guy. Appreciate him filling in. He did a great job.
I am glad to hear that. I was in Indonesia and could not call in.
Likely story.
Yeah, well, I'm selling it, so hopefully you'll buy it.
General manager update. Kim Domingo.
I just want to say thanks to the board for sending me to CSDA. I'm enjoying it. I've done a few sessions. I've actually bumped into Director Wood a couple times, and I've only seen President Glennon once, but that's okay. I'm sure he's doing a good job mingling. So thank you for sending me.
Thank you.
That's all? Is that all? Is that the conclusion of your report, Kim?
That is the conclusion of my report. Like John said, I won't stand in front of this train.
Okay. I had a question for you, Kim. I've been kind of looking at some of the projects we have, some of the engineering costs, and I was wondering, you've been our manager for a couple years now. I was wondering your thoughts on in-house engineering as opposed to outside or outsourcing engineering.
I lost him again.
Yes, it did.
He comes back. We'll ask him again.
I'm back.
There he is.
I heard the question.
Oh, okay.
The question was related to whether it would be worthwhile to have an in-house engineering. I would love that. I don't think we can afford it at this time. I'll I think right now the way that we use our consultants is cost effective because at some point we're going to stop doing big projects. I'm hoping that soon we'll stop doing big projects and we won't need a whole lot of engineering. But right now it's cost effective for us to outsource it.
Do you think there's such thing as over-engineering on some projects?
Sure. I mean, there's, and that's an opinion. I get it. Some may say, are you over-engineering, a particular project? But sometimes there's a lot going into that opinion. One person's over-engineering may be, foreseeing the future need for a particular facility. So that's, I understand that concern, but I also think that you engineer and construct to succeed, not to fail. And if you were at, I know you weren't at, but if you were at Ryan.
Lost him again.
Ah, lost him again.
I have a comment on it, and I'm going to say it like this. I've learned in my 17 years of working for a jurisdiction, it takes a lot for an engineer to put a stamp on a piece of land. That's his name. For as long as that thing is out there, it takes a lot. And you might call it, some people might call it over-engineering, and I have seen over-engineering, but I've also looked at it like, do you want to meet standards or do you want to exceed standards? And I think a lot of the stuff we're building is to exceed the standards because we're not going to have to go put more money back into that thing. It's got to last a long time. So I'm not the type of guy that wants to spend money on budget stuff. We get what we pay for, and if we do the lowest bid and get the barely meeting the standards, if somebody cuts a corner, we're the ones facing the thing. But I know that the engineering stamps cost a lot of money. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't finish my thought. What I was saying was, if you had been to Ryan Becker's presentation at Tri-State, you saw some examples of perhaps under engineering and not paying enough attention to detail. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
Okay.
I'd like to
please.
add a little bit. Is good point you brought up, Vice President Washington, on that. My experiences with engineers and worked with an engineering company for 37 years is that a lot of times when you get too many engineers involved, things do tend to get over-engineered and too many chefs in the kitchen. I like our situation here is that we have our general manager who is a PE. And we have competent people here in John and Ryan and things of this and other staff members that when we do a project, our staff sets the table and says, this is what we want. And then I trust that Kim and staff, when a consultant comes in to engineer a project, that they're not going to let a whole bunch of unnecessary frosting be put on the cake, so to speak, to get the job done. And so I just like to commend you guys. I think we've got a really good way of doing things right now. And that way the district's interests are always.
Can you let her out?
Engineering companies out there, you know, if you, this is like a car salesman, they will add on as much stuff as you allow them to add on. And that's where I think it's important for our staff to know what they want, which they do. And then they get the consultant in and say, this is what we want, this is how we want it done. And then that keeps the cost down considerably. Yeah. And so my hat's off to Kim and the rest of the staff for being able to keep that atmosphere.
And Kim, my perspective is it's from a cost perspective. You know, I've had some experience with engineers. There were over 200 on our second floor at Metropolitan. And whenever we had a capital improvement project, seems like by the time it got to me in infrastructure, most of the funds had been eating up through engineering. So we had a really big problem with the over-engineering. So what we decided, and I'm not comparing Met to RCSD, but we rotated a junior engineer that was more in tune with some of the projects. And that way he was focused in on it. And then we didn't have a series of different engineers to add, as you said, Director Wood, sprinkles, frosting, and all those other goodies that go on it. But you know, I was looking at some of the projects we've had, and the cost in just engineering is almost close to a junior engineer salary. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm just looking at it from a cost in this community perspective.
Understand. Anything else? Okay. Next one, Director of Administration Sherry Tim.
Thank you, Mr. President. There were a total of 111 notifications of pending shut-off for non-payment mailed to customers this month. We had 1,003 accounts that were charged past due fees that totaled $9,054.28.
Sorry, how many?
1,003. That's the most that I've seen since.
Wow.
And those were past due. We are also exploring an SMS text messaging option for our customers, and we're looking forward to offering this service as we strive to increase the technology that we offer. And I just wanted to report that the East Kern Economic Alliance meeting will be held on September 11th at the Mojave Air and Spaceport. The address is 1434 Flightline Road, and it is at 1:30 p.m. on that day.
Does RCSD have representation there?
I do not believe we do. The community of Rosamond, I believe the rep used to be John Joyce, but we are always invited.
All right.
And if there's no questions, that's the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Next page, here we go. Public Works update. We're gonna start with John Houghton, Director of Public Works.
So I'd just like to report, since 2006, this agency's been working on getting our state consolidation underway, and they finally broke ground. So
Great.
the contractors on site, they're storing their equipment and materials here on site. We've been out potholing and starting to trench and everything. So Yeah, and since 2006, that project was started. And if you have any questions on the public works report, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, I'm a little curious about something. 51 water breaks in a month. Is that because of the weather or?
It's every year.
Now I know there may be maybe a pressure differential. I saw at one location there was a leak, and 2 days later, about 3 houses down, they had a leak.
So a lot of it's tree roots.
And then new neighborhoods.
Yeah, well, that was inferior material, but it's a poly, most of it's a poly, that's why we switched over to the new stuff going to copper. But the poly, there's certain years that, they ain't lasting out there. So we got tracks that are, less than 6 years old that are recuttings.
Do you think, like for the roots ones, do you think if we put it in a spec that like wrap it in a root barrier or something like that would help out, or is that just?
So I talked with Kim and we talked that maybe changing the spec, going back to copper, because we have very, very few leaks with the copper stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what we're making them all put in on these new, capital projects that we're doing. I think we should also maybe look at changing the spec for the new homes to put it in.
It's burden on them, they're making the money.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, Director Wood, I know you had experience. How does that take place? How do we get our message out that, hey, these type of pipes are breaking at this type of rate, we suggest using something else? Does that happen in a planning meeting or?
Well, that would happen in a planning meeting. I've talked with staff on it over the years. And a lot of it, in the older sections of homes, you got tree roots, but also you got very rocky soil. And it's constantly shifting and moving. And it's just wearing a hole in the pipe. I'm thinking that at some point, we might have to look at, capital projects of some going into certain neighborhoods and replacing the piping. But is most of your leaks are on the connections going to the homes and not on the main line itself?
The service line, the things of the heater.
Yeah, so the main line is okay, it's just all the service lines that, you just drive up and down streets and you see the potholing all over. It's.
And it is definitely seasonal, we can tell in the spring when the weather changes. And they're more predominant, in the wintertime, we have very few leaks,
Right,
but we have over 360 leaks a year.
and
And I don't want to go left field on this, but boy, this bombing or whatever that's going on, these booms, I know they shake my house. I got a couple cracks in the concrete from it, I'm sure over a 30-year period.
well, tree roots when it comes to any kind of water infrastructure, whether it be sewer or water, tree roots is your biggest enemy. Because those roots will find a way to get into that pipe, and once it does, finds just a tiny little millimeter. It'll get in there, and once it does, it'll bust that pipe,
What
create a
the
crack.
tree roots do out here is they, like a pipe on, they circle it and squeeze it until it actually causes the leak.
Yeah.
I
So,
saw a product that you put down your toilet that supposedly cleans.
Robex.
Or, what's it called?
Robex.
Does that work?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So that's
We use
for
the
the
same-
maintenance project.
In my day job, we use the same stuff, but we do it through a company called Duke's Root Control. And it's the same material. It's just, you put it in there, you flush your toilet until you don't use your toilet for 4 hours. So you do it before you go to bed, and it foams the whole pipe and stunts your root growth up to 3 years. But yeah, Duke's Root Control is what we use for our sewer lines.
John, I got a question. What is the tree that is causing the most trouble? Is it cottonwoods? Or,
I really haven't identified with, but there's not many cottonwoods in these housing stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I know the fruitless mulberries are another one that's really invasive with their fruit.
Especially if you're surface watering them, it's pretty bad. If you do deep well watering them, they do better, the roots go down far, but, I know the ones that I think are better are the palm trees. Their roots are thinner and it's a huger base because they're
Yeah.
designed to go tall, so they create a bigger base. So if you wanna get somebody a present and put it in front of their house, that would be that one.
Well, I got confidence that, staff will come up with a workable solution to,
We've set aside money every year now for capital projects to replace all these old service lines, so eventually we'll get it handled.
well, it's a good thing knowing that it's a service lines main line. That
Yeah,
really,
knock on wood, we've only had a few mainline breaks since I've worked here in 26 years.
okay. Well, thank
Hey,
you.
this is Kim. Just to iterate how you would change something or to strengthen something, that's a policy decision. So, as far as your standard specs or details, talking about pipe materials, I think, instead of making it, an option for the poly, that's one of the things is you could do is make it a requirement for the copper. But I think the more important thing on the new tracks is the inspection that we do as staff, and I know John has staff that goes out and inspects those, is just to make sure that the backfill is, sand, so we don't run the issue with angular material inside in our rubbing up next to our service lines. And I think because even copper would eventually wear a hole if it had rocks next to it. I mean, you still get vibration, so it's really a matter on new stuff is making sure the inspection's good, and then on the old stuff is just trying to put more resilient material in.
Awesome. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
One more, graffiti abatement. How many, calls or requests have you received?
I think it was one or two, sure, that we had in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I wish the community would really get involved, because I see quite a bit of graffiti on Diamond Street and surrounding areas, and, we can't hire investigators to go out and look for. We need the community's help with it. If you see something, say
I
something.
think we might have had two in the last couple of weeks, maybe this month, that's told them we reported it.
Yeah.
Anything else? Brian Becker, what do you got, sir?
All right. Since the last time we spoke, the treatment plant staff has been working on improving operations and maintaining a standard to produce quality effluent that we've been accustomed to. I have a couple pictures I'd like to show you. It's always kind of good to know where your money's going. So with our biosolids bay that was approved, they started obviously with the excavation of it. They had to go down a little bit farther than expected to achieve good compaction for something that will last a while. So a couple of pictures, I'll describe them as we go through them. This is further excavation. As they went down, they had to put a geotech barrier in to build back up. So this is depictions of them doing that. During this time, staff went down and replaced a valve for the return from our EOF that the stem had broke. So that's something our staff worked on. You can see it there. That's after the repair, backfill, and they wrap it. Put stuff on all the bolts, wrap it. That way keep it clean so later in the future you can get it apart. Here's back to the slab. This is them starting to build the forms for the concrete slab. As the slab progressed, they began with the installation of rebar. They've also been cleaning, the pictures are all mixed together. This is removal of biosolids from the sludge drying bed being placed in the stockpile over on the east side of the picture, if you will, and that's what the sludge bay will accomplish. we'll no longer be putting biosolids down on flat earth. The staff's also been ripping and maintaining the percolation ponds, with the new equipment that was not new, but new to us, equipment that was purchased, so we no longer have to contract out, this work. Okay, this is back to the sludge bay. They're starting to install the rebar. This is a picture of depiction when all the rebar was done.
What size is that rebar?
Looks like, what would you say, Ryan? Number 6s?
So you're a little bit more sophisticated than I. When you go out there and grab it, it's about 3/8 to 1 inch, give or take.
It'd be probably number
It's-
Number 6 is what I would say.
It's this big for sure.
And only sludge is going on this, correct?
Biosalt sludge.
Buildings or nothing like that?
Heavy equipment will be going on it.
Okay.
We will use a loader, big heavy duty loader, to move and, shift solids.
By the way, someone could perceive that amount of steel in there as over designed, just by the way.
You caught me, huh? Well, that's a lot of rebar.
It's not going anywhere, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
There is a lot of rebar in it, for sure. But at what is over? What is, right? Would you rather have less and have us drive that loader on it, and in 10 years from now, I'm asking you to redo it again? What is overkill? I think we all have our own individual. This is them pouring. They began at 4:30 in the morning. The first pour took 150 yards. It was 15 trucks. And that did the pad is broke up into 3 sections. So it did the first section and third section along with the front apron. Day 2, they came back 4:30 again, and that took another 60 yards. That did the finishing off the footings and the drain. It's just, the people that do this for a living need to be appreciated and valued. It's not an easy job doing what they're doing. So you can see there's the first bay that they're doing. That's the completion of the first bay. This is them doing the third bay. And this is it finished. So there's your traffic rated drain that runs the entire length of it. Any liquid that is in it will be drained off, captured instead of soaking into the ground. They fed back to our headworks.
Yeah.
In these pictures, it's hard to see. If you can see the back, now what they're doing is they're starting to put up all the forms for the walls. And it is designed in a way that our solids handling machine, where it dispenses into this, the walls on that side are higher than the rest of it. So that way, over the weekends, our guys do on call every day, Friday through Sunday. But you're only there for a limited time, and you're not gonna spend time using a tractor shifting biosolids around, so we built those corners up. You can see in that far corner, you can see that corner is quite a bit higher than the rest. That's the corner it will dispense into. Yes, sir.
Question, you said it was a finished product.
Concrete was.
Yeah,
Slab.
would there be a need for a chemical resistant coating on it, or do you guys plan on that, or nothing like that?
As far as my expertise, no. The only change that we did make was a minor one. It was to have a heavy room finish on it, and I chose for it to have not a trowel polished finish like a basketball court, but a smooth finish to help encourage stuff to run off of it. The whole point is to drain any excess liquid. So, as far as additive to it for chemical resistance, so we sample our sludge, and yeah, it's biosolids. It's gonna be corrosive, but
So FYI, I think the cement that was used is type 2/5, which is sulfide resistant, just FYI.
And there's nothing in biosolids from the sewage treatment plant that's corrosive and it's gonna eat up concrete or anything else, and so.
Good.
That looks like it's gonna hold, quite a bit of sludge in there. And,
It'll do good, and it was needed, so I appreciate it. And, that concludes my report for tonight.
how many days of sludge do you think that you will be able to put in there to get it dried enough to be able to be taken off site?
So we designed it to be large enough to hold, around 6 months. 3 of that it'll be sufficient. My current plan is to start having, biosolids hauled off, 3 to 4 times quarterly, or only maybe 3 times a year. It's large enough to hold.
Are you going to store in rows in there, or are you going to just spread it out over the surface?
Initially, it'll be spread out to allow to dry quicker, and then we will start shifting it, replacing it into rows. I do have, once we go to a full solids handling machine, per the state, I have to keep track of how much each parcel of biosolids has been in there, so we will row it, per time accordingly.
Okay.
The second option when it comes, as you deal with biosolids, you're paying by the ton. You're paying for hauling.
Yeah.
So another option is to be able to store things in the existing sludge drying beds, to allow for further drying over the summer months.
Okay. Sounds good.
My last comment, Ryan, John, please tell your staff to keep up the great work. It's been really hot out here this past month, and those guys were out there working and getting it done. So thank you, we really appreciate that. And I also heard you knocked them dead at the conference with your presentation.
Did the
So
best.
keep up the good work, we're proud of you.
Appreciate being allowed to do
All
something.
right.
Okay. Is there anything else for the good of the meeting? Hearing nothing, it is 6:40 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.